Why, hello class, and welcome to remote learning. We have a test coming up on solving linear equations, solving for that dreaded x. So I figured I'd make a study guide review on how to do it. So without further ado, I'm going to start working through these problems and you can check your work. So this is the answer key. And who knows, maybe I make a mistake, maybe I don't. Let's find out, right? So again, we're wanting to solve for x. So we subtract 11 from both sides. 7 minus 11 is negative 4. So negative 4 equals 2x. We then divide both sides by 2. X is going to equal negative 2. So I guess I could write it right there. X equals negative 2. Next one, we have the letter a on both sides. I typically like to start with solving for the smallest a, so I subtract 3a from both sides. And I get 3 equals 2a minus 9, so the goal is to get a alone, so I add 9 to both sides. And you get 12 equals 2a. If you like, you can draw the line down the middle too. Divide by 2, a equals 6, because 12 divided by 2 is 6. And you can always check it. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 minus 9 is 21. 21 equals 21. It works. Letter C is wanting you to use parentheses first and then solve it. So you got to distribute. So this becomes 2y plus 3y minus 3, because 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 equals 27. Combine like terms, 2y and 3y becomes 5y. And if you don't like the letter y or a, you can make them x's. 5y minus 3 equals 27. I'm going to kind of draw that line. Add 3. 5y equals 30. 30 divided by 5, you're going to get y equals 6 on this one. Okay. X divided by 4 equals 2. The opposite of dividing by 4 is timesing by 4, right? And the 4's cancel out. You get x equals 2 times 4, which is 8. X equals 8 on that one. When you have fractions, right off the bat I see it's 1 divided by 2, right? It's a half of something. So I'm going to make everything twice as big to eliminate that fraction. This and this eliminates. 1b plus 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 10 is 20. I subtract 6. I get 1b equals 14. So b equals 14. Uh-oh, we got some decimals, but doesn't change anything. It's still math. Pick the smallest one and subtract it first. So I'm going to subtract 3.6h first from both sides. 5.6 minus 3.6, that's a difference of 2h plus 10 equals 22. Subtract 10 from both sides. You get 2h equals 12. Divide by 2, h equals 6. There's those first problems for you guys. All right, problem number 2. Tina is solving linear equations. She's done the math here. Her final 2 steps are 5 plus 3x equals 3x plus 9. 5 equals 9. Which statement correctly interprets the equation? Well, 5 does not equal 9. That's false, right? That's broken math. 5 does not equal 9. So that means there's going to be no solution. If it was infinite solutions, it would say something like 5 equals 5 or 9 equals 9. But since it's false, we broke math. It doesn't work. There's no solutions. That line would be parallel to the other line. All right, select all equations or inequalities that have x equals 4 as a solution. So that means if I solve it, will x equals 4 or will x work with 4? So let's go. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either add 6 to both sides, and then you get x equals 4, actually, so a works, right? Or you can plug in a 4 for x and ask yourself, does 4 minus 6 equal negative 2? And if it does, then it works. 2x minus 10 equals 3. I'm going to add 10. 2x equals 13. 13 divided by 2 is not 4. D does not work. Negative 3 times 4, does that equal 1? Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 does not equal 1. That doesn't work. X equals 6. If that makes it 4, does 4 equal 6? Nope, that doesn't work either. Negative 1/4 times x equals 1. Well, negative 1/4 times not x anymore, it's times 4. And actually the 4's would cancel out. Does negative 1 equal 1? No, it does not. So therefore that wouldn't be 1 either. Ooh, x minus 2 equals 2x, right? So we're asking ourselves, will 4 work on this one? Does 4 minus 2 equal 2 times 4? It does not, because that equals 2, that equals 8. So the only answer here is going to be A on this study guide. So there's the first page. I'm going to head on to the second page now. And again, if you know how to do these, just pause it, fast forward to the pages you need. Solve the equations below, write the answer to the right. Nice and simple. Solve it, tell me the answer, right? So subtract 3 from both sides. We get 6x equals 12. Divide by 6, x equals 2 is the answer. X divided by 8 equals negative 4. You take the opposite of dividing by 8 is timesing by 8, so x is going to be equal to negative 4 times 8, which is negative 32. Good. Okay, so solve for x here. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, right? And then I'm left with 5 equals negative 5. Well, 5 does not equal negative 5. That doesn't work. There's no solutions. 3x plus 5 plus 2x plus 5. I'm going to draw that to separate the left from the right, and I'm going to combine like terms. 3x and 2x is 5x. 5 plus 5 is 10. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. And if I notice, the left equals the right. If I cancel out the x's, 10 equals 10. That's a true statement. That means there's infinite solutions because it's always the same. Okay, let's keep going. 2 times x is 2x. I'm going to draw that line. 2 times 5 is 10 equals x plus 5. Subtract the smaller x. That means I got to subtract 10. 2x minus x is 1x. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. X equals negative 5. Got to solve for this x right here. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. I get negative x equals 12 minus 5, which is 7. And remember, negative x is like a negative 1x. So I got to divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 7. Awesome. Let's keep going. 5 here. For each linear equation in this table, indicate whether the equation has no solution, one solution, or infinitely many solutions by placing a check in the correct box. Okay, so remember, no solutions is when the lines are parallel. Infinite solutions, right, are when the lines are the same, and then one solution is when they crisscross once. No solutions are when you have the x's match but nothing else. The x's cancel each other out. Infinite solutions is when they are the same on both sides. And one solution is when nothing matches. Everything's different. So nothing's going to get canceled out. So with that being said, let's look here. So 4x plus 13 equals 4x minus 13. If I cancel out the x's, I get 13 equals negative 13. That's false. That means it's going to be no solution. Do the math here. 4x plus 8. On this side, I get 1x, 3x. I get 4x plus 8. Notice 4x plus 8, 4x plus 8, they're the same. That's going to be infinitely many solutions. And then right here, 4 minus 2x equals 2x minus 4. They might look the same. 4x minus 2x equals 2x minus 4. But actually they're not. If I add 2x and I add 4, you're going to get 4x equals 8, x equals 2. That's going to be one solution there. Because they actually don't match. This is actually a 4. So 4 and negative 4 aren't the same. Negative 2x and 2x aren't the same. They're trying to trick you on that one. So number 6, just fill in the boxes to make it have one solution, no solutions, and infinitely many solutions. Just kind of look back there on that last problem. I'm kind of reviewing it. It's also in your notes. Equations with no solutions mean the x's are going to have to cancel out. So 5x and 5x have to cancel out, but 2 has to equal something that doesn't equal like 10, right? So the x's will cancel out, and you'll get 2 equals 10, which is false. One solution, nothing can match. So you just pick numbers that don't match 5x plus 2. So I'm going to go 3x plus 7. And you can do whatever you want there. It can be anything. They just can't match one another. In infinitely many solutions, they have to match. 5x plus 2 has to be 5x plus 2. This one has to match one another. Look at you guys, already on your way to 100%. Eric makes $6 per hour as a server at a restaurant, plus any tips. One week he makes $250 in tips, and his total earnings for the week are $514. He would like to know how many hours he worked for the week. So we know that he's made $250 in tips. We know this. We also know he makes $6 per hour, but notice we don't know how long he's going to work for. So my 6 is going to be with an x, because it's going to be 6 times however many hours he works, plus that $250 he made in tips, for a grand total of $514. There's my equation. So I need a 6x plus a 250, not a 250x, plus a 250 equals 514. There it is. So now how many hours did he work? So now we got to solve it, right? So 6x plus 250 equals 514. Grab that calculator, subtract 250 from both sides. All right, so I go 250 minus, 514 minus 250. I get 6x equals 264, so I divide that by 6. That means he worked 44 hours. Huh. It's a lot of work for $500. I wonder if it's worth it. I mean, if you do the 514 altogether, divided by that 44 hours, that means he's making $11.68 an hour. Not bad, I guess. Solve the following equation below. Okay, 1/4 n plus 1/2 equals 1/2. I'm going to make it a little bigger here. 1/4 x plus 1/2 equals 1/2 x minus 2. A couple different things you can do here. You can either multiply everything by 4 and then multiply everything by 2 and then solve it, which is what I'm going to do. Or if you really want, you can make these have a common denominator of 4. Right? You can make this 2/4 and 2/4 because that's 1/2. You know what? I think actually I'm going to. That actually sounds a little easier. So I'm going to make this have a common denominator of 4. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Now we have a common denominator. I can now make everything 4 times bigger by timesing everything by 4. These 4's cancel out. 1x remains. These 4's cancel out plus 2. These 4's cancel out. 2x minus 2 times 4, which is 8. And now I can solve it, right? I subtract 1x from both sides. Then you're going to get 2 equals 1x minus 8. Add 8 to both sides. And 1x equals 10. So x equals 10 is the answer on number 8. Good. Number 9. Ooh, look at that beast, right? Solve the following equation. Good luck. Well, parentheses first, then combine like terms. Why don't we do that? 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Right? And now I'm going to combine like terms. 5x minus 3x. So 5 minus 3 is 2. Plus 4x is 6x. Plus 2x is 8x. Right? And all the x's are now done. Right? So that x is gone, that x, and that x, right? Now I'm going to do the whole number.